Kash Patel sat across from someone who wasn't about to accept deflections, Congressman Ted Lieu of California. But before he ever stepped into politics, Lieu served as a JAG officer in the United States Air Force, a military prosecutor trained to spot evasive answers instantly. And during this congressional hearing, he used every bit of that experience to corner the FBI director on a topic Patel clearly didn't want to discuss: the Epstein files. But Lieu didn't approach the issue the same way everyone else had. He didn't repeat the usual questions. Instead, he came at it from a different angle. He asked about what the FBI should have done, but didn't. He asked about evidence the FBI should have reviewed, but apparently hadn't. And then he asked one simple question that Patel refused to answer: is Donald Trump on Jeffrey Epstein's client list? To understand why this moment mattered, you have to understand who Ted Lieu is. Lieu graduated from Stanford University with degrees in computer science and political science. Then he earned his law degree from Georgetown Law. After that, he joined the U.S. Air Force as a JAG officer, serving as a military lawyer. He prosecuted cases, defended service members, and handled investigations ranging from minor offenses to serious criminal matters. In the military justice system, evasiveness doesn't work. If you're responsible for knowing the facts, saying "I don't know" isn't an acceptable answer. After active duty, Lieu continued serving in the Air Force Reserve, eventually reaching the rank of colonel before retiring in 2021. He later served in the California State Assembly, then the State Senate, before being elected to Congress in 2014. Today, he sits on the House Judiciary Committee, which oversees the FBI. So when Lieu started questioning Patel, he wasn't looking for a soundbite. He was looking for answers. Lieu began by establishing the basic facts. The FBI searched Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan residence in 2019. Patel confirmed that. Then Lieu asked another question. During that search, the FBI found a safe inside the residence. Patel hesitated. "I don't have the catalog of evidence in front of me." Think about that. The FBI director saying he doesn't have the details of evidence from one of the most high-profile criminal investigations in modern history. Lieu repeated the question. Eventually, Patel responded, "I'll accept your representation." Not yes, not confirmation, just acceptance of Lieu's statement. Then Lieu asked what was inside that safe. According to reports, it contained inappropriate photographs. Again, Patel answered, "I'll accept your representation." Lieu pointed out that this information was widely reported at the time, including by the New York Times in July 2019. This wasn't obscure information. It was public record, yet the FBI director claimed he didn't know. Then Lieu introduced another name, Michael Wolff. The author had conducted numerous interviews with Jeffrey Epstein and reportedly possessed over 100 hours of recorded conversations. Lieu asked Patel a simple question. Had the FBI interviewed Michael Wolff? Patel responded, "You raise a great point." That wasn't an answer. Lieu asked again, "Has the FBI interviewed him?" Patel said, "I'm not saying they haven't, I just don't know." The FBI director didn't know whether his own agency had even interviewed a key witness. Lieu pressed further. Did the FBI subpoena Wolff's tapes? Patel replied, "I don't know." 100 hours of Epstein recordings, and the director of the FBI couldn't say whether the agency had even tried to obtain them. Then the hearing moved into the most explosive territory, the connection between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Lieu noted that Trump and Epstein had been photographed together in the past. Patel acknowledged that. Then Lieu asked a critical question. Are there any compromising photographs of Donald Trump in the Epstein files? Patel immediately said no. Lieu stopped him. How do you know that? Patel's explanation was simple. If such photos existed, they would have surfaced by now. But Lieu quickly dismantled that argument, because recently the Wall Street Journal revealed a previously unknown birthday message from Trump to Epstein. It hadn't been discovered by investigators. It surfaced through journalism, which proved something important. Not everything in the Epstein story had already been uncovered. Then Lieu turned to the Epstein estate. He suggested the FBI could subpoena additional materials from it. Patel pushed back, claiming the estate wasn't obligated to provide that information. Lieu responded bluntly, "You're the frickin' FBI, you can subpoena that information." The frustration in the room was clear, because if the FBI truly wanted those records, they likely had the legal authority to pursue them. Finally, Lieu reached the most controversial question of all, the Epstein client list. For years, people have debated whether such a list exists and who might be on it. Lieu asked Patel directly, "Is Prince Andrew on the client list?" Patel avoided answering. Lieu asked again. Still no clear response. Then came the key question, "Is Donald Trump on Epstein's client list?" Patel didn't say yes, he didn't say no. Instead, he replied, "The index will speak for itself." That answer said a lot, because if the answer were clearly no, it could have been said in a single word. Instead, the response was another deflection. And throughout the hearing, a clear pattern emerged. Patel didn't know whether certain witnesses had been interviewed. He didn't know whether key recordings had been subpoenaed. He hadn't reviewed important evidence from Epstein's residence, and he refused to directly answer whether Trump appeared on the client list. Ted Lieu didn't rely on dramatic speeches. He simply asked direct questions, questions that should have had simple answers. And by the end of the exchange, the American public was left with a troubling possibility. Either the FBI director doesn't know critical details about his own agency's investigation, or he knows them and is choosing not to say. Either way, the questions surrounding Jeffrey Epstein and the powerful people connected to him are far from over. And as long as those questions remain unanswered, lawmakers and the public will keep asking them.